Welcome back to MP Access. My name is Ekaterina, and today we are here at the Velocity event in New Orleans, and joining me, Tasha Macy. Tasha, welcome to the show. This is your first time here, right?
Yes, thank you.
MP Access. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So tell us a little bit about your background first.
Yeah, so I started flipping houses. I was a personal trainer, and I had a client who was into real estate, and he roped me in. And then I had one of my business partners tell me I should become a real estate agent, and I was like, I don't want to do that. And I broke my foot, and I was sitting down for 8 weeks, and I was like, I'm going to get my real estate license.
Hang on. I have so many questions. Okay, that's quite the journey already. So you started flipping houses at what age? Like, what first led you into it?
Yeah, I was 22.
Okay. And you just had, just spare savings, and you were like, I'm going to invest it into this ugly little house and make it pretty.
No, so I didn't have the money, but I had the ability to find a deal. So I told people, I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring the deal if you bring the financing, and I'll bring some sweat equity. So I ripped off siding, demoed walls, took out mold. I wore the big marshmallow suit.
You know how to do drywall then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we have a lot of things in common already, because I used to flip houses too, but I did it with my mom for a while. So yeah, it is fun when you start getting into it. You get to design portion especially.
Yes, that's the funnest part.
Yes, that's the best part.
But then you have the marshmallow suit, the N95 mask.
Yes.
All of that with mold all over you.
Oh yeah, that's
fantastic.
the best part. Yeah, mold.
Right.
And now you actually have On Point Realty.
Yes.
You have your own company. So tell me, what is that timeline? Because I've heard you started flipping houses, then you didn't want to become a real estate agent. Now you have your own real estate company, and also you broke a foot.
Yeah. So I got my real estate license, and the investor mentality in me wanted to cut costs as far as my designated broker would take fees from me. And so I was like, you know what? The earliest I can become my own real estate entity is at 4 years. So as soon as I hit 4 years, I took the test, and I opened my own office, and I have 3 girls underneath me, and it's fantastic.
Yes. And where are you based?
Maine.
Yes. Okay.
And
that's
so
far.
I got the name On Point Realty because I strive to be on point.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. So, tell me about that test process, because I'm not going to lie, I was looking into becoming a real estate agent myself. But then I decided against it. I don't know, maybe it's still in my future, but I've heard that it's actually a very difficult test, and there is some math in it too.
There is math. Where I had a real estate background, it wasn't necessarily too difficult for me. I would say the test is relatively easy to pass compared to a lot of different, the barrier to entry is pretty low, but 90% of real estate agents fail in the first 2 years because it's a lot of relationship building, and you need a lot of grit in those first couple of years to build steady clientele.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So how did you start finding clients? Where did you go?
Yeah. So I was an investor, and so I had a lot of investor friends. And my first listing was a short sale. And I don't think anyone, when they become a real estate agent, plans to get into the distressed market. And somehow you just land in it. And you continue. And for me, I flourished. I found, repeat clientele, attorneys. I work a lot in the probate area of Maine. We are one of the oldest states as far as age-wise goes for ownership. And so we have a lot of probate properties, and I work with a special admin on those. And recently I've done a lot of receiverships with another attorney I believe Renee you just interviewed with. I work with her a lot. So yeah, it's just grown and compiled, and it's quite a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Do you still flip houses?
Not right now. So managing assets, you kind of oversee trash outs. If I have a free time, I partner with my clean out guy, and I haul the trash out.
But when do you have a free time?
Never really. It was so bad. We did a clean out for Renee a couple months ago, and it was so cold that my trash guy had icicles on his eyebrows.
What?
It
Was it during winter?
Yeah. I had 3 layers of gloves on, couldn't feel my fingers. I had a sandwich in the car and it was frozen. I couldn't eat it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds miserable. Especially, speaking from experience, a lot of those like flipping properties don't even have electricity. Like you have to fix everything yourself.
And then what I've been doing, because a lot of the real estate transactions I do are pre-foreclosure. And so there's sometimes small profit margins, you know, with what the payoff is and what the estate can handle, or the distressed homeowner can take on financially. And so we've been doing, on vacant houses, I will like half stage a property with the big furniture that's like left behind. Mm-hmm. And so I have my trash guy take out all the debris, but leave the bulky stuff behind. So on one of the more recent ones, I took a bed frame from one room and a mattress from another and a quilt I found throughout the house and staged a room. So it like helps homeowners envision the property, even though it's distressed and may not even have electricity on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, but you are a young lady. So like I cannot picture you like alone in this like ugly house, you know, doing all of this yourself. Are you working with someone?
Majority of the time I'm by myself, or sometimes like especially first time going through a property, I have one of my brokers come with me. We kind of have a buddy system. Just because you don't know.
Exactly.
But I mean, other times if I don't have someone, I just pray.
Same. Yeah. Do you have a story to share about a property that you were getting ready to flip or purchase and you just saw something terrifying there that you decided against it?
So we work with the state of Maine. Like we represent them on all their tax-acquired foreclosures. That's one of our clients. And one property last year, it was a large land parcel, and the buyer's agent called us. We hadn't walked the whole property, and they hadn't paid their taxes because the guy was deceased on the property, like 4 years deceased.
Like he was still there?
Yeah, like we had to have
like you walked
the
in
criminal units, state police, everyone come to the property. Yeah. I mean, and of course, like we've always seen like dead animals and stuff, but that was a new instance.
I did not expect to hear that. I mean, yes, like deceased animals and stuff like that. Like I've seen there was like an entire room dedicated to like animal.
Yes, there's a lot of shrines.
Yes. But like an entire human.
Yeah, it was kind of sad. Like I mean, very sad, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was completely.
But it was like a skeleton at that point, right?
Yes.
It's like 4 years old.
Yes.
Oh.
Right.
This conversation got really dark. Okay, so going back to On Point Realty, how old were you when you decided to open it? Like, was it a new decision for you, or how old is this company?
I just hit 2 years on April 1st.
Okay, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so 2 years. And how many employees do you have there now?
So I don't have any employees. I have all agents that are 1099, so I'm not required to give them or pay them any business. But as my deal flow increases, they absorb, and I've trained them all from the beginning. So
okay,
they're like an extension of me.
So you train them also, like you said?
Yes.
Okay, so can they get licensed through you, or
they are licensed under me?
Okay.
But with real estate brokerages, you're not required to have employees.
Gotcha.
They're commission-based.
Okay. So how would you describe today's real estate market from the perspective of someone working with both traditional buyers and complex property situations?
So Maine is unique right now, where we're still very behind as far as inventory goes. We are still witnessing multiple offers, bidding wars. I just had a buyer this past weekend submit an offer, and there were 16 offers on the property. So it's still very high demand. Buyers definitely are becoming slightly more picky because of the interest rates. But as far as complex real estate situations, we have a lot of investors that are just hungry for deals. Mm-hmm. Again, like with traditional, there's lack of inventory, but same with renovation properties. So like I have people calling me weekly, being like, "Hey, Tasha, do you have a property that needs renovation work? Like what's coming?" I'm like, "Well, I might have a property in Old Orchard Beach or this. Like keep an eye out." And so like my clientele base is always asking.
Foreclosure houses are the best ones, but they're also are never there on the market because I feel like real estate agents get them first and they just like steal them from the market right away and they purchase them for themselves.
I mean, I don't do that. I'm not sure what that looks like as far as legalities go. But for me, I definitely want to make sure, the investor client or homeowner is getting the highest value for their property. So I always put the property, bring it to market, and make sure it's the maximum exposure.
So are you Gen Z or a millennial?
I don't know. I'm 30.
Okay, I'm 27, so we are 3 years apart. So I would say like millennial, Gen Z, this is
something.
Yeah, something. We're the same generation basically.
Yes.
How do you feel about like Gen Zers and younger individuals saying that you cannot buy a house right now and like mortgage and percentage and everything is so expensive?
Right. So I have seen a lot of people my age getting more interested in multifamily properties. I have
duplexes?
Duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, those are all residential loans. And that's one way that you're able to offset your mortgage expenses. I bought my first property. It was a 4-unit at 23. And that covered my...
4-unit?
Yes.
Oh my God, you're a millionaire.
It had 8 garage space too, so that was also additional income. So it was very fun. And that allowed me to buy a single family after that and then... continue to buy my next one, but that multifamily really set me up well. And so I always, when I have clients my age, or I have a lot of clients my age, I always encourage them and ask them, would you consider a multifamily property?
I was gonna say, what is the main age group right now purchasing homes? Is it more like in the late 30s, like married couples who can actually probably afford it together?
Yeah.
Or people like you and I who, flipped a couple of houses and actually have a large down payment for a better house?
I have a lot of people my age.
So 30s.
Yes.
Okay.
And even 20s. So, we had a client last year who was 18. Very cool. Yeah.
Very young.
Yeah. It was incredibly cool because I'm like, you guys are going to be set up. I mean, I would just say he got into excavation and he was probably in a family business and he saved. A lot of people tend to buy vehicles or get in credit card debt at a young age and that kind of sets them back financially or, college expenses. That can be very difficult. So depending on how you spend your money those first couple years as an adult, definitely impacts your ability to buy.
Absolutely. Sure. How are higher interest rates affecting buyer confidence, affordability, and decision making right now?
Yeah, so I would say they're a little trigger shy. They definitely, as an agent, you want to educate them not only on your monthly mortgage payment, but accounting for monthly expenses as far as utilities go. In Maine, like heating costs are expensive. Oil's expensive. And then understanding that you want to budget for repairs. I feel like a lot of people our age don't, we lost that woodshop class in school. Like, they don't teach that anymore. So nobody our age really understands how to fix their houses. So that can become difficult, especially if you're hiring out for everything.
Absolutely. And what kind of agent are you? Like, are you overprotective agent or are you more like do whatever you want agent? Like it's your money, it's your life, it's your choice?
I'm like a mom.
Okay.
So I have 3 kids and I protect my home buyers and sellers like they're my own kid every single interaction. And I treat every single client as if they're my entire world. And I'm not going to change, how I treat the client based off of price point either.
That's good.
Yes.
Because I have heard otherwise before.
Yes.
Especially when I used to flip houses and my mom and I would go and buy houses that are like $20,000.
Yep.
And they're like dirty and disgusting and a realtor would be like, well, what am I getting from it?
Yeah,
like
and see that's a mentality that I don't enjoy. It's like a scarcity mentality, like a one deal type thing. If you prove yourself, you protect your client, and you provide value, and you show that value, they're gonna refer you. Like I don't do any active prospecting. Everything's referral based. I haven't had to do that ever. It's because if you do good by people, the universe works well for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Who is your favorite client to work with?
That's difficult. I love my attorneys.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're also rich. So.
well, no, I'm not talking about as far as like they're like in the default space. The foreclosing attorneys, I feel like they're able. It's a different language you speak, and same with like asset managers. They understand. You don't have to educate as much because it's not like a first-time home buyer. They understand, foundational issues or roof new repairs or all that stuff. So it's favorite in a way that it streamlines the process a bit, but also on the flip of the coin there, first-time home buyers, like I do photo shoots for them. We pop champagne on the final walkthrough. We get a whole photo shoot taken, and so it's like a really exciting experience. Mm-hmm. So both are fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Can you share a scary story of when you were working as a realtor and you went into a property and you just felt unsafe with the client, maybe? And how do you protect yourself as a realtor too, as a young lady? Once again,
I can't think of one on top of my head for me personally, but I can tell a story like from one of my agents.
Yeah.
She was going through a property I had listed, and it was a grow up property. So like the entire basement was filled with like marijuana soil, like home grow up. Like
my God,
it was crazy. And she was walking through with a flashlight, and a big giant rat went right by her, and that was like mortifying. She screamed, and like it was the first interaction with the client. But speaking of like a flashlight, we use mag lights, like the big flashlights, especially walking through vacant homes, potentially with buyers we don't know, because that can be countered as a weapon if you have to use it, especially if you don't feel safe carrying a gun. It's helpful to have that just in case. I've never had an instance where I've had to use it, thankfully. Or anything like that.
So are there any areas or properties you would not tour and would not show?
No, not in Maine. We don't have the scary areas that I've heard of. Like I know there's a lot of agents here that have told me horror stories about certain areas in their markets. Luckily, there's not any of that in Maine. And one way in which if there is a stigmatized property in an area, I partner with the state police department and the local police departments. And so if I have a vacant, distressed house and I know there's been squatters in there recently, or we just evicted someone, I call them up and say, hey, look, I have a property. We haven't done a trash out yet. Can you do a canine training? And so they go into a new environment. They hide drugs in for their dogs, and the dogs are exposed to a new environment, which helps them improve their skills. And everyone in the area sees a police presence, so they avoid that house. So that's one unique way in which I'm giving back to the community, but also protecting the asset.
So have you ever had a homeowner or family situation that reminded you that this business is really about people, not just properties?
Yeah. Yep. So I recently had a property that we had a receivership property that came through, and it was a really sad situation where there was a domestic abuse case, and the only homeowner on the deed and the mortgage was incarcerated, and the mother and her young children were at the house. And it was pre-foreclosure, so it was an equity sale. And I had to educate and communicate to the mother and try to explain to her, and she had a language barrier, that she needs to move out before it becomes bank-owned property, because we were in the redemption period at the time. And explain to her that if she doesn't, she may not get proceeds. And she's a mama bear, and she's like, I don't know where to go. Like, I don't know. Like, my daughter has disabilities. She needs a house, and I'm like, I understand that, but in order for you to get money, you need to move out. I need to sell this property. It needs to be vacant. And she couldn't see past that. And as a mom myself, I understand that. But I went ahead and coordinated with the attorneys on the file. And for her protection, we filed a 30-day notice to quit. Because she couldn't see beyond her motherly instinct. Right? She lacked that, and no judgment on her, she lacked that emotional capacity to look beyond and think logically. And so it was really sad, because it involved a lot of compartmentalizing. And recognizing that at the end of the day, it was her best interest. Because if it went to REO sale and it sold at auction, it wouldn't get the same value. It'd be discounted, and she wouldn't have the same amount of proceeds. So I kept that in the forefront of my mind throughout the process. But as a mom, it was challenging.
Yeah, and very heartbreaking too. Like,
so sad.
How do you hold your tears back when a story like that is happening in front of your eyes?
You compartmentalize. You're very professional in the moment, and then you
go home
later.
And cry.
Or you go run.
Yeah.
I run
go
to
the
weights.
gym.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you have a story about a situation that actually made you cry, like on the spot? Maybe something you've seen, a family or a client or a house, maybe that was just like completely ruined and it didn't deserve to look like that.
I think what's challenging in pre-foreclosures is the lack of understanding borrowers have, especially when they get served. They think they have to immediately vacate the house, and they don't know that they have options. They don't know that they have the ability to sell. A lot of people I see, they get a notice of foreclosure complaint in Maine, and it has all this scary verbiage in it, and they just abandon the house. And they have no idea that they could potentially make money on the property, and they abandon it. And if it's a winter season, the pipes might burst, the house falls apart, and so I wouldn't say there's a particular situation that like made me cry, but I would say there's a lot of situations that make me feel bad about lack of knowledge in homeowners when they go into default.
What about a success story? Something that you were like so proud of to maybe serve a person, or maybe a beginner who, just used his beginner's luck and it actually worked.
Let me think. There's so many. I mean, I would say I have a lot of probate properties I deal with, the special admins with the estates, and I work with an attorney on these. And so many times, I mark them as if it's my own family, right? So it's like, I want to make sure they get professional photography, professional videography, like my listings are my resume, and I need to make sure like whoever's looking at it knows and it helps me sleep at night to know I provided the most, like, for whomever's on the other side receiving those proceeds. And we had one family, the property was distressed and vacant for like 4 years, and it finally Maine's very slow in the default space. And we finally got the asset, we got it turned over, got all the photos, got it listed, had, done the comps, and we ended up netting the estate over $100,000. And so that was like, they called us crying. They were super grateful. So it's like, just like over delivering and providing, so many opportunities for people that they may not have known existed, especially heirs of real estate.
Yes. Yeah. That's a cool story. I like that, especially after hearing about like dead bodies and stuff like that.
That's not the norm.
Yeah. Okay, so what separates an agent who truly understands distressed assets from one who simply lists homes?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of agents, unfortunately, in the distressed market, I don't know about all the agents that are at Velocity here, but in my market, I see a lot of agents, they don't treat them the same as traditional real estate. They don't hire a professional photographer. They don't do floor plans. They don't, figure out how to make a house present well despite its condition. Like, there's one property we listed last fall. It was a short sale. We couldn't afford to have a trash out, so it was in front of the ocean, and we're like, we need to capitalize this view, right? And it was covered in so many belongings. It was left behind. The owner died, and so we chose one room that was like the most unaesthetic part of the house. Me and one of my agents, I don't even know if we had gloves. No, we had gloves. We took all the possessions and put them in one room, so the rest of the house presented well. And even though it was like a $70,000 property, not only it wouldn't affect the heirs, but it affects the investor, right? The investor's going to net their highest proceeds. So that's another thing to consider. So I would say a lot of agents are careless with distressed properties. No matter what, I bottom line for me is professional photography. It's so important. It helps every single property present its best light. One thing I wish I could do is do like a scratch and sniff though, so you can tell what it has to smell like.
That's a great idea.
Maybe not.
I should patent this.
I don't know. That might go horribly. No, but I would say, and then also lack of knowledge about repairs and the money it costs to repair properties.
So you mentioned a little bit about professional photography. Do you also have like a license of a professional photographer or videographer, or do you hire people?
I hire a company, and I've hired them so many times, but they're phenomenal. Even just for basic photos in Maine, at least, it's only $200. So in any case, in my opinion, it's worth it.
But for beginners who are just starting in real estate, do you recommend them to hire someone or try to learn how to do it yourself first?
I would say you can, if you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none, right?
Yeah.
So I would definitely say if you can financially afford it, I would make sure that you outsource it and focus on what you're good at.
And going back to your company, On Point Realty.
Yes.
So what is your plan? Are you planning to expand and maybe take over a different state also? Or are you planning to stay in Maine and just expand into different cities?
So we cover majority of the entire state right now. I know that might sound vast, but
yes, in 2 years.
I feel like our entire state has about the same amount of inventory as some cities, so it's really not that big of a difference comparatively. It takes me 2 hours to get across the entire half the state, right?
Oh,
so it's like in high city traffic, it's a little bit different. We're licensed in New Hampshire as well. I have a lot of solid connections and I'm building on those, especially in the default space. So I would say right now it's not at the forefront for that, but there's something I'm working on with a few different people as far as a different niche in probate goes to expand that more of a nationally.
So what is next for On Point Realty?
Oh gosh, just providing value, honestly. Making sure my clients, whoever hires me, knows that they can trust me and they know that we will deliver A+ work and
quality service.
Yes, we will make sure whether it's a short sale or equity sale, we will get the best value from the real estate, whether it's for the institution and the investor, or the foreclosing attorney, or even the homeowner. Whoever, all parties are affected differently, and then just make sure everyone has a positive outcome, and that communication is always, communicated effectively, because that lacks sometimes too.
So how can people get in touch with you, with your business, and learn more about On Point Realty?
Yes. So we're on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. And then I'm also on Instagram, and it's Tasha Massey RE. I do a lot of fun listing videos as well. So we use AI to creatively renovate houses to help buyers visualize properties, or I just market in a fun way to make, distressed properties less distressed and more exciting, right? So that's
And what brings you to Velocity this year?
I got brought to here because I was asked to speak on a panel. On how agents and attorneys can effectively communicate.
I think you should not speak about that. You should speak about the story you told me earlier about the body you found.
We're not going to talk about that again.
That will stick in my brain forever. I don't know.
I'm glad I didn't see the photo. My agent got a picture of it, and yeah. Not good. Not good.
Well, Tasha, thank you so much for visiting us today. Enjoy Velocity. I think we got a panel going on here soon in a couple of minutes.
I know,
as you can hear in the background.
I don't know what's happening.
Yes, as you can hear in the background. So thank you so much for visiting me today on MP Access, and we hope to see you again maybe next year.
Yes, or even at the 5-Star Conference.
5-Star Conference, that's right. That's up next.
September.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you, Tasha.
Thanks for listening to MP Access. Stay up to date with daily mortgage news, featured stories, and our latest episodes of the podcast at themortgagepoint.com. Don't miss out, and we'll see you next week.